When did someone get off on watching you fail? I decided to surprise my fiancé's Pierre's traditional French family by giving a French reception speech. His grandmother, Mère Louise, had been politely distant since our engagement, and I was desperate to prove I was worthy of her grandson. I found Celeste through a tutoring service, enthusiastic, affordable, and experienced with wedding speeches, but $10 per hour should have been the first sign that this would completely go wrong. Oh, ma chérie, she'd coo during lessons. This will be so romantic. Mère Louise will melt when she hears you speak from the heart. Something about her eager smile felt off, like a saleswoman pushing extended warranties, but I threw myself into twice-weekly lessons anyway. Pierre was thrilled, pulling me close and whispering, "She's going to love you even more than I do," which was some impressive foreshadowing. He made every stumbling pronunciation worth it, even when she would force me to repeat phrases until my tongue felt like it was attempting yoga poses. 3 months in, Pierre's reactions became more alarmed and wary at my French pronunciation. I'd proudly recite, "I'm so grateful to join your beautiful family," and Pierre's eyebrows squiggled. "Chérie," he'd say carefully, "maybe don't practice that part around my parents yet." When I pressed him, he'd shake his head about my pronunciation, but his eyes looked like he'd seen a linguistic ghost. At our engagement party, I attempted what Celeste called, "Thank you for welcoming me," to his aunt, and the woman choked on her wine so fast I thought she saw her ex-husband. Pierre quickly swept me away, muttering about French people being particular about accents. After Pierre's mother went silent when I attempted my marriage blessing phrase during dinner, I knew something was seriously wrong. She was the most accepting in the family. That night, I started secretly recording lessons with a tutor from a trusted website online, telling Celeste I wanted to practice at home. Her voice almost immediately went from enthusiastic to dismissive. I got a second tutor, and I nervously played them a recording, watching her face transform from curiosity to horror. "Sarah," she whispered, gripping my arm tightly, "you cannot say this at your wedding. You're describing graphic adult acts." I started panicking, feeling my nerves running through my body. All this time, she was toying with my wedding. I knew I had to do something. That evening, I sat outside Celeste's apartment, pacing from rail to rail, sitting with a gut feeling to call the tutoring service about her background, and I did. The receptionist said something I couldn't believe. "Celeste mentioned she knew your fiancé from college." When I pressed for details, she revealed Celeste had specifically requested me, claiming personal interest in the marriage's success. Then it all made sense. I immediately recalled my fiancé saying he had an obsessive ex-girlfriend during college, that she lost it when he didn't want to keep seeing her, and she said she would come back when he least expected it. The pieces crashed together perfectly. The eager smile, the insistence on specific phrases, the way she'd watch my face like she was savoring every moment. She'd been systematically teaching me to humiliate myself, and I couldn't let her win. That night, I went through every recording, and what I discovered made my blood boil. She had crafted an entire speech that would make Mère Louise clutch her pearls into dust. The gratitude to Mère Louise section would have me describing fantasies that belonged in categories I didn't know existed. I sat until 3 a.m., mapping every lie like conspiracy theorists, except this conspiracy was real and designed to ruin my life. She wanted to destroy my marriage before it started. The most chilling part was realizing I'd been 3 weeks away from becoming a viral sensation for all the wrong reasons. I showed up to my next lesson with a hidden camera and my real speech. Celeste greeted me with reality TV fake enthusiasm. "Ma chérie, ready to make Mère Louise cry happy tears?" I looked her straight in the eye and said in perfect French, "I know exactly what you've been teaching me, and I know who you are." The mask slipped and she froze mid-breathe. Her fake accent evaporated, her smile twisted into horror movie territory, and her voice dropped to a snake uncomfortable hiss. "You stupid little American girl," she spat like a Disney villain who'd finally snapped. "You think you deserve him?" I let her rage like a toddler, getting every word on camera before calmly revealing my recordings. Watching her realize her elaborate revenge had backfired was almost worth the months of terror. The wedding speech I actually gave brought Mère Louise to joyful tears, not secondhand embarrassment. Standing at the microphone, looking out at Pierre's family who now knew what Celeste had attempted, I spoke about gratitude and love without accidentally propositioning anyone. Pierre's eyes shone brighter than our wedding rings, and Mère Louise stood and applauded like I'd performed a show. Celeste was fired and blacklisted from being a tutor ever again. The most satisfying part wasn't her legal consequences, it was Pierre whispering during our first dance, "I can't believe you turned her own weapon against her," which might be the most romantic thing anyone said about psychological warfare. Our marriage started knowing we could survive anything together, even linguistic sabotage by unhinged ex-girlfriends with disturbing creativity.